Today we're going to show you how to install kick panel speaker pods in your UTV. In this video we're going to be using the Rockville RockCR and the 6.5-inch RKLM 65 MBW speakers, but the installation tips used in this video will apply to any UTV compatible speaker pods and speakers available. Let's get to it. Step 1. Now the RockCR comes with pre-drilled mounting holes and screw bolts so you can attach it straight to the kick panel area in your UTV. But before we mount it to the kick panel, we're going to want to take a drill and drill a new hole so that we can run speaker wire through it. Once we have the holes drilled, we can run our speaker wire through it like this. In this case, we are using the speaker wire that came with our RKL 65 MBW speakers because it has spade terminals on one end and will make connecting to the speakers very simple. When preparing your speaker wire, you just want to make sure it is long enough to reach from your speakers to either your head unit or to your amp. And make sure there's enough slack so it's not super tight run that can get loose or disconnected. Once you have the speaker wire in the pods, it's time to move on to mounting. Step 2. This part is relatively simple. The RockCR has 3 mounting holes that allow you to take the included bolt screws and screw it straight into the kick panel area of the driver and passenger side of your UTV. Now when picking an area for mounting, you just want to make sure it's in a place that the driver or passenger will not kick with their feet during bumpy off-road moments. But because of the way most UTV kick panels are set up, you have a lot of area you can choose from for mounting. Once you find the best spot for mounting on the kick panel, you're going to use the mounting screws and put one into each of the 3 mounting holes on the RockCR to mount it onto the kick panel. You will do this for both the passenger side and the driver side. The good thing about the RockCR speaker pods is they actually have a groove on each of the pods so they can fit alongside the roll bar that runs through the kick panel on either your driver's or passenger side. This makes installing them in the kick panel area very easy to do. After you have the speaker pods mounted with the speaker wire running through the speaker pods opening, it's time to move on to mounting the speakers into the pods. Step 3. Before we mount the speakers, we want to make sure to connect the speaker wire we ran to the negative and positive terminals on our speakers. Since we ran the speaker wire that came with our RKL 65 MBW speakers, it already had spade connectors on it so that we could quickly connect it to our speakers like this. But if you are using normal speaker wire, you could either crimp on spade connectors or just attach bare wire to the speaker terminals. Once you have the speaker wire connected to your speakers, you can move on to mounting the speaker into the pod. Now this part is easy. You just feed the speaker into the pod so it is flush, and then either using the included screws that come with your speakers or the included screws that come with your pods, you just line up the screw holes on the speaker with the lip of the speaker pods and just screw your screws into them like this. Because of the material of the RockCR, you do not need to drill screw holes beforehand. The screws will catch and hold your speaker into the pod. Once you have both speakers mounted to each speaker pod, the last step is to run your speaker wire to either your head unit or your external amp. Step 4. This is the last step and it's quite simple. If you're using these speakers with an amp, you want to run the positive wire into one of the positive speaker terminals on your amp and do the same with the negative wire, running it into the corresponding negative speaker terminal on your amp. Repeat the process for the other speaker, making sure to run the speaker wire into an open speaker terminal on your amplifier, and that's it. Now if you have a head unit that can power speakers, it's the same exact wiring. You just go from the positive and negative speaker wire outputs on your head unit to each of the speakers. Depending on the type of head unit you install, you might need to run those speaker wires to the speaker outputs on the harness of the head unit before you install the head unit back into the dash. So just keep that in mind, and you can always check out your owner's manual for your head unit. But with each speaker now having speaker wire run into the speaker terminals of your amp or directly to the speaker wire outputs of your head unit, you are ready to play music through them. So hopefully this video showed you how easy it is to install kick panel speakers in your UTV. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support tech team through phone or email. And check out the rest of the videos in our UTV install series. We'll see you guys in the next one.